Yo, what's up guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. Rimuru in Akame Ga Kill by alexkuhar360 Chapter 21. Shift in Mentality. Rimuru's POV. After my match earlier, I spent the time until nightfall searching the headquarters of the Path of Peace. The beautiful building was a treat to look upon, but the activities happening within it would disgust almost anyone who entered it. Just looking in some of the rooms, it might be mistaken for a whorehouse or brothel instead of one of the most elegant buildings outside of the capital. The scent of drugs and sex permeated the air to the point that those faint of heart would gag from the stench. Of course, I am used to this kind of thing since entering the world. The sights and sounds of this kind of place are as mundane as someone riding a bike down the street back on Earth to me. Thinking about that is a depressing thought. How warped are my beliefs and morals at this point to no longer care about people being murdered or raped. The thought that might change into a slime is the root cause of my shift in emotion and partial loss of empathy, but deep down I know that is an excuse. To live in the world and be strong, certain things have to be sacrificed. With me wanting to return to the world I was originally reincarnated into, I needed dramatically more strength than the inhabitants of this world would need, thus the sacrifices even more severe. Since coming to this world, my emotional and mental health has been going down at a steady pace. This world is that depressing to live in, at least compared to everything I know. I wonder if when I get back to my little town, if anyone will even recognize me after my dramatic shift in personality. If my change in behavior is like a storm, then I am definitely in the eye of it, but that does not mean I don't see the results the storm produced and what will happen the next victims of it. A prime example of this is my alignment with Esdeath. She is someone I would never befriend at any cost before my training with the Elite 7, but now I plan to go to a new world with her in tow. Am I okay with subjecting a new world to her wraith? Most of these questions I have no answer to. The only thing I can unequivocally say is that I have drastically changed during my time in this world. I must leave this world before whatever I am turning into finishes as well. The trail I have been blazing is not a good one. Unfortunately, I do not really have other options at the moment. I need to get Budo's Tegu, and one I currently believe the Prime Minister's son has. I have to escape this cursed world at once. After my introspective monologuing was done, it was night time and I was in the room assigned to me by our gracious host. He probably isn't happy I killed one of his demons though. I didn't eat dinner and went to sleep early, and by went to sleep I mean listen to some music with the help of Great Sage. She is definitely a lifesaver. When I originally died on Earth, my biggest regret was not ever having a partner, but now my need and longing for one has only grown. No matter how bad it sounds, I have definitely come to rely on Great Sage as my only true friend, someone who I don't have to worry about betraying me, someone reliable, and most of all someone helpful. Tonight I am sure some things happened that I would hear about tomorrow. Not that I care though. I have begun to see clearly again after some quiet time thinking. With Great Sage's help I think I will be able to forge a path towards the outcome I desire. It is dangerous for me to treat this chance as hope, but at the same time it could be the light at the end of the tunnel I need. The next evening, by now it is known that all 4 of the Rakshasa demons are dead. It seems Seryu also died. I can't say I am disappointed, she was very annoying. The rest of the Jaegers were pretty sad about it. After the confrontation with Night Raid where Bollock died, they seemed very distraught from loss. With our mission to protect the human trafficker and rapist failed, we returned to the capital. At least now I can restart my search for Shambhala. I am anxious to get my hands on it since it is the most important thing to my escape from this world. Sometime later, to my own and the Jaeger's annoyance, when we returned we learned of a new units made by the Prime Minister, Wild Hunt. It was annoying for me because it would make investigating Sayura, his son, more difficult. From what Esdeath told me, all the people in the unit were weirdos. Esdeath didn't want them in her unit because they would not reliably listen to orders. Esdeath is the type of person who would be happy to whip them into shape and make them follow orders, but having such unreliable allies would be inefficient and dangerous. After all, Esdeath is an extremely intelligent woman who may be sadistic and cruel but is not reckless or stupid. Following our return to our capital I singularly focused on Wild Hunt. I was almost positive they had Shambhala and I needed to have it. Using my mimicry skill I was easily able to stalk them. They were very disturbing people to follow. In fact, they were some of the worst people I had seen even in this world. I am sure they are not long for this world though. After all, I have a feeling many of the people I have met will die soon. Since I cannot die by conventional means, it would be very hard for someone from here to kill me. Death could, but I would not fight her head on. If she attacked me, I would flee. Since Death would not be able to catch me, it would be relatively easy for me to escape if needed, especially once I get my hands on Budo's Tegu. After tailing them for a while, I realized I was becoming something of a stalker. At least I'm not a pervert, well, kind of. After some time of blocking out everything except Wild Hunt, I found an opportunity that would not come to pass twice. If I can take advantage of it, I can speed up my plan dramatically. What happened is that Sayura and Budo had set a trap for night raid in the area near the palace. They would have no chance to escape other than fighting their way out, which was near impossible considering the firepower the Imperial side mustered. I decided to watch from the sidelines until I had a good opportunity. It would be difficult to chase down a teleporter if they were aware of me hunting them. It seems the prey that fell for the trap was Tatsumi and Lubbock. I guess I will be assisting them. Tatsumi's POV. We came to the palace with information about someone friendly to the resistance that could help us. When we came here though, it seems we were found out and a trap was sprung on Lubbock and me. Now I am fighting General Budo and he is fighting the Sayura dude. I have faith in Lubbock, but to be honest, it is no looking good for us. Aside from our fights, I can see that some members of Wild Hunt are watching, no doubt ready to jump in if they are needed. I tried looking around for an escape, but Budo is putting too much pressure on me to get Lubbock an escape. It was also getting progressively harder to defend myself. Our battle was fierce, but I could not say I was keeping up with him. It seemed like I might have finally been caught out until a bone-chilling shriek echoed in the field we were fighting in. AHAHAHA, what the fuck was that? A shriek wasn't uncommon in a battlefield, but it still caught the attention of all of the fighters. When I turned to look, I saw the Sayura guy who was acting smug earlier holding the stump that used to be his arm. His arm was now in the hands of a figure that hadn't been here until a second ago. They had beautiful blue-silver hair that went down a little below the waist and almost completely black clothing. In their other hand was a sword that didn't look particularly fancy but still looked very well made. Lubbock and I recognized who they were, but since they were wearing a white porcelain mask with a red ruby in the middle, we didn't expose their identity and both played dumb. Sayura was the next one to speak. Who the fuck are you? I haven't heard of a chick like you working with Night Raid before. Well, it doesn't matter. Give me my fucking arm back, you little bitch. In response, the new arrival put their hand on his Tegu and before everyone's eyes disappeared into nothingness. With everyone dumbfounded, the person I was very confident was Rimuru threw the arm towards Sayura. When we tried to catch it with his remaining arm, Rimuru burst forward in speed and severed his other arm, leaving his first arm to smack him in the face. Quickly after that, both of his legs were severed and he was on the ground bleeding out. Before all of our eyes he bleed up. Having so many arteries and veins cut like that caused him to bleed out in under 20 seconds. The next person to speak was Budo. You are the one that is an associate with Death, right? It seems you have attacked the wrong person. You just killed Prime Minister Honest's son. Although he is annoying, I will have to report it, which will no doubt result in a hefty punishment for you. Help me with these Night Raid villains and I can help you to the best of my abilities. In response, Rimuru lifted his mask, revealing a beautiful face with bright gold eyes. Currently adorning that face was a bewitching smile that made most of the people around blush. Oh, but who will tell them I killed that dog? I can assure you it will not be anyone here. After all, this is a secret only the dead know. With a slightly sadistic but still enchanting smile, Rimuru charged at Budo straight on with sword in hand. The only people moving were Rimuru and Budo, and Rimuru slashed Budo, blocked with his gauntlets, and tried to punch. Although the fight was fierce, none of them have used any of their abilities, so they are not completely serious. Halfway through though, everyone was silenced. During their dance, Rimuru overcommitted on an attack. I am convinced it was on purpose because it was obvious Rimuru was toying with Budo. When Budo had an opening to punch, he took advantage and sent a powerful punch toward Rimuru's head, but to all our surprises, Rimuru caught the punch barehanded. The game was fun, but how about we get serious, Mr. General? I don't have all day for this fight to warm up naturally. In response, Budo spoke while getting in position with his gauntlets. It is a shame to kill a skillful warrior like you, but I need to get this over with and capture those two Night Raid members. After they both spoke, Budo's gauntlets came to life, sparking and ready for a fight. On the other hand, Rimuru conjured some type of black flame. It was very beautiful, but I could feel its danger. After it was conjured, Rimuru put his hands near the flame and it seemed to shrink down into the blade. When he was done, the blade itself started morphing into the color of the black flames. After the 5 seconds it took to complete, it was clear Budo understood the danger the sword possessed. He was sweating furiously and even gulped. Then on cue Rimuru charged forward again, this time even stronger. As he ran, Budo sent shots of lightning at him the entire way. In response, Rimuru elegantly cut them with the blade. On contact, the flames seemed to devour the lightning as if it was banishing it to the depths of hell. Within a few seconds, Rimuru was in front of Budo, who tried to block the sword swing with his gauntlets. In response, Rimuru moved his blade to the side, causing it to miss, and kicked Budo in the leg. Although Budo was able to stay standing, it noticeably wobbled him. I doubt he could take much more without his leg breaking. After staggering back a little, Budo readied himself once again. This time, however, Rimuru went for the legs with his sword. Without being able to block with his Tigu because of the low target, Budo was easily struck with the blade and burst into flames. All that remained was his Tigu, which Rimuru quickly picked up before walking away. He didn't say a single word to either of us and proceeded to cut down the other members of Wild Hunt in the area. He didn't bother to take their Tigu though. Then without a word he left without saying a simple word to us. What the hell just happened? The end.